We all know as teachers, and well, French teachers especially, how much time lesson planning takes.
Oh, tell me about it.
It can be brutal.
Uh,
And you want to spend your time on the fun stuff, the actual teaching part.
Right. Having that toolbox, that's key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A well-stocked toolbox of resources, that's the dream.
It makes all the difference instead of starting from scratch every time.
Okay, so speaking of which, today we're diving into espaceprofle.com.
Ooh, interesting.
To see, is this the answer to our prayers? Is this the magic solution?
A magic toolbox, maybe.
Uh-huh, exactly. And we've got their FAQs to go through. They've got a whole marketing presentation we found.
Okay.
And even, this is cool, a little snippet from another podcast where teachers were talking about using it.
Oh, getting the real scoop. I like it.
Exactly. So multi-pronged approach to this deep dive. Got to be thorough.
Love it.
So first up, always got to start with the FAQs for me.
Yeah.
It's like checking the care instructions,
Yeah.
right? Before you get too excited about the shiny new thing.
Makes sense.
So Espace Prof FLE, what are you all about? Spill the tea.
Well, right off the bat, their FAQs make it very clear. This is for French as a foreign language teachers.
Okay.
Like specifically, this isn't some theoretical linguistics thing.
Got it. So practical, hands-on.
Exactly. For teachers in the trenches, whether they're online or in person.
I like that. In the trenches, it's a battlefield out there sometimes.
It can be.
All right. So practical focus, good start. But how many resources are we talking? Because I've been burned before by these things that are like, we have 5 worksheets.
Right. Got to have the volume.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're claiming over 300 downloadable resources covering A0 all the way up to C1.
Okay, not too shabby.
And, this is key, they emphasize new content being added weekly.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a static library. It's constantly growing.
Exactly. They want you to know this is a living, breathing resource.
I like it. Okay, I'm intrigued. But what format are we talking here?
All right, so it's mainly pedagogical sheets, which you can download individually, or they have them bundled into modules.
Okay, so like thematic modules, skill-based modules.
Exactly. So you've got that flexibility. You can pick and choose, or you can follow their sort of pre-designed flow.
Gotcha. So like a choose your own adventure, but for French lessons.
There you go.
I like
All
it.
right.
And for those who maybe are new to this whole pedagogical sheet thing, what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah, so think of it like a blueprint for your lesson. It gives you the structure, the key elements, but you're not locked in.
Okay, so you can still bring your own like personality, your own style to it.
Exactly. It's not a script. It's a framework.
Okay, I like that because you don't want to lose that personal touch, right? That's what makes it fun.
Absolutely.
All right, so format, check. We know what they're about. We know how many resources. Now, the big question, the one we're all thinking,
Hit me.
cost.
Ah, yes, of course.
Because, teachers, we're not made of money, sadly.
No, we are not.
So what's the deal?
Okay, so good news and even better news.
I love this kind of news.
They have a decent chunk of free resources to get you started.
Okay, all right, not bad.
And they really highlight this free Lesson Zero module.
Lesson Zero, so like a trial run,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly. Dip your toes in the water before you jump in the deep end.
I am all about the try before you buy approach.
Right. And then, if you want the full shebang, the full access.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's where the subscription comes in.
You know it. Monthly or annual plans, although they do make a point of saying the annual one is obviously the better deal long term.
Sure, makes sense.
And they even mention like a special deal for schools if they want to do like a bulk purchase.
Oh, smart. Got to appeal to all the different like budgets and needs and stuff.
Exactly. Got to cover all your bases.
Okay, so far, I'm not going to lie, they're ticking a lot of boxes for me.
They're doing well.
But the FAQs are one thing, right? That's them telling us what they think we want to hear.
True.
Time to see if they can back it up. Let's dive into this marketing presentation.
All right, let's do it.
All right, marketing presentation time. And let me tell you, they are not messing around with the bold claims.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Best resources, gain time, impress your students, you name it, they're saying it.
Well, they've got to sell themselves, right?
True. Everyone's got to hype themselves up a bit, but sometimes it's like, okay, tone it down.
Right. But it's also interesting to see what they choose to highlight, what they think is going to really hook those teachers.
That's a good point. It's like, what do they think are our biggest pain points? Okay, well, based on this presentation, I can tell you, they think we are all desperate for time.
Can you blame them?
Not at all. Like the amount of times they say ready to use and turnkey, it's like they know.
They're reading our minds, or maybe
Oh,
our Google searches. Who knows?
right. Help. Give me French lessons.
Exactly. But, okay, buzzwords aside, do they actually walk the walk? Do they mention anything concrete about their approach?
They do. And this is where it actually gets kind of interesting. They talk about using a spiral progression approach.
Okay, for those of us who aren't curriculum nerds, what does that mean exactly?
So basically, it means revisiting concepts and skills throughout the curriculum, but at increasing levels of complexity.
Okay, so it's not just like, we did the passé composé, now we're never speaking of it again.
Exactly. It's like building blocks, laying the foundation and then coming back to it, making it a little more challenging each time.
That's actually really good because that's how we know real learning happens, right? It's not linear.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
they seem to get that, which is a good sign for me.
It is a good sign, shows they've thought about this.
Right. And then they also talk about catering to different learning styles, which, again, music to a teacher's ears.
Oh, absolutely, because we know every student is different.
Right. Some are visual learners, some are auditory, some are kinesthetic. They need to move.
And if you can't reach them in a way that makes sense for them, good luck keeping them engaged.
Exactly. And speaking of engagement, they mention real-world language a lot and fostering student autonomy, which I know is a big buzzword these days.
Sure, but it's important. Students need to be able to actually use the language, right? Not just conjugate verbs in a vacuum.
100%. And I think this is actually a good segue into talking about that other podcast we mentioned, EdTech Explorers.
Oh, yeah, where they actually talk to a teacher using Espace Prof in their classroom.
Exactly. Because we can look at the marketing materials all day long, but what's it actually like in the trenches, right?
Right. Give me the real deal.
All right, so one thing that really stood out to me was this teacher, Alex. They were using this B1 module called Famille Composée, un nouveau modèle.
Okay, so that's what? Blended family, a new model.
Exactly, so it's all about modern families, right? Blended families, single-parent households, all that.
Wow, that's actually super relevant, right? Like, that's the reality for so many students these days.
Totally. And it's not just like a throwaway topic. Alex was saying how much the students got into it.
Really?
Yeah, like they were having debates, sharing their opinions. They even analyzed a video about family dynamics. It sounded really engaging.
That's awesome because that's what it's all about, right? Getting them to actually use the language, to think critically.
Yes. And I feel like that ties back to what Espace Prof LOE was saying about real-world communication and autonomy. Like, it's not just lip service.
Right. It's like they're walking the walk, at least based on this one teacher's experience. I gotta say, based on everything we've seen so far, they're definitely promising.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, especially if you're a teacher who, like, you want good quality stuff. You don't have time to reinvent the wheel.
Right. You need something you can basically take and run with.
Exactly. And that whole try before you buy with the free resources.
It's huge. It takes the pressure off, right? You can actually see if it works for you.
Totally. And I think that shows, they're in tune with what teachers actually need.
Absolutely. They're not just up in their ivory tower. They get it.
Right. And I like how they're not just focused on, like, grammar drills and stuff. They really are trying to get at that real-world communication, different learning styles, all that.
It's refreshing, honestly.
It is. But got to be honest, no resource is perfect. Right?
There's always a but somewhere.
Always a but.
Yeah.
So for our listeners out there, what are some things to keep in mind, maybe some potential downsides?
Okay. Well, first off, if you are someone who's like, nope, technology, not touching it.
Yeah, some people are all analog all the time.
Exactly. This might not be the best fit. You can print the materials, but it's clear this is designed for a digital classroom.
Got it. So tech-savvy teachers, you're probably good to go. But if you're more old school, maybe not so much.
Right. And the other thing is, if you are someone who loves, like, crafting every single lesson from scratch,
Yeah, you're like an artist. The blank page is your canvas.
Exactly. You might find the pre-made modules a bit limiting.
That's true. Although, there's always room for adaptation, right? You can take their framework and then, like, jazz it up.
Of course. Of course, it's about finding that balance.
Right. And the last thing I think, just being practical, the subscription model.
Yeah. It's not free forever, unfortunately.
Sadly not. So if you're working with a really tight budget, that's something to weigh.
Absolutely. Got to factor that into the equation.
Okay. So bottom line, it seems like Espace Profile has a lot going for it.
Potentially a real game changer for some teachers.
Especially if you, like we said, you're comfortable with the digital format, you like the idea of having those pre-made high-quality materials, and the subscription model works for you.
Exactly. They've laid it all out there. Now it's about seeing if it's the right fit for your teaching style, your students' needs, all that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Ah,
So there you have it, folks, our deep dives into Espace Prof LLE. Hopefully this has given you some things to think about as you plan your French lessons. Search for those perfect resources.
it's a jungle out there.
It really is. But remember, the most important thing is to keep exploring. Find what sparks joy for you and your students.
Absolutely, because when you're excited about teaching, they're excited about learning.
100%. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep up the amazing work, teachers. You're all doing incredible things.
We'll be back soon with more deep dives into the world of education. Stay tuned.
We're thrilled to offer you a 30% discount on our annual plan. Use code EPF30, available only to our amazing podcast community. Don't miss out. Subscribe today to espacefle.com and make the most of this limited time offer.